Hi, it's Chelsea and Nick Jerusalem here with the Jerusalem's Happy Home team, and we're about to give you a recap of what happened in 2019 in the greater Puget Sound real estate market.
So sit down and hang on for the ride. Here
Woo!
we
It's about to
go.
get wild.
All right.
Um, so we've got a slideshow.
Technology.
Hit go.
Boom. All right.
All right. So some of the key highlights from 2019. It was definitely a less volatile year than 2018. We hit a record year of record lows. So we had 10-year low for inventory levels, had an all-time local low for unemployment levels, and near historic levels for mortgage interest rates. So that was definitely an all-year low type of a year. And then we also had home sale activity and pricing changes be more hyper-local than ever. So some areas of King County saw double-digit appreciation, while other areas saw prices go down. So definitely each area was performing in its own way this last year. More affordable price ranges saw the greatest appreciation, were the highest and the highest rate of sales.
Yeah. So kind of looking at what those prices look like. So King County was up just under 6% year over year. These are for single family homes in these four county area. The real headline though would be Kitsap and Pierce County jumping up as much as double digits in some areas. And that's just also indicative of the fact that the price point's nearly half of what it is in King County. And you can see the Snohomish was also up a healthy amount as well, just under 9%. But we're seeing a big move towards people driving towards more affordability. And that usually means having to go further outside of the urban cores. So kind of showing how those specific areas kind of break out to kind of give you an idea of the difference. So you can see, for instance, in Seattle, prices actually went down 1.62%, whereas in Southeast King County, Kent, Renton, one of the really hot spots right now, prices are up nearly 16% year over year. So again, it comes down to just a very specific pricing and marketing strategy for each sub-market. No longer a one-size-fits-all kind of playbook.
Yeah, and if you bought an investment property in Kent, you're really laughing because rents went up the highest amount in Kent as well. So
that's right.
Rents went up, property values went up, you're feeling smart.
Right.
Something interesting that happened last year is that inventory levels peaked around June, which is atypical. Normally we see inventory levels peak around the September, October timeframe. So we peaked a lot earlier than we did this year. We're just not seeing inventory grow like we normally would have seen in years prior.
Yeah, with this being a year of more stability, I think you've seen a lot of people in the summertime that maybe would have been putting it on, kind of waiting and seeing to where the market might go. This is kind of looking at the last 6 years of supply. The red line represents pending sales, so kind of the demand. So this is looking at a blend of the two, the absorption level. So how fast is inventory being consumed and replenished? So the other interesting trend here, outside of the inventory declining from summer, is that you can see through the end of last year, the rate of sales continued to increase from September through December, which you do see typically happen at the fourth quarter of the year. However, last year it was almost eye level with our previous peak back in March, which has not happened before. So usually December, we're still about half the rate of sales as we were in the spring peak. This in 2019, we're nearly identical rate of sales.
Yeah.
How did that plays out in Pierce County? So Pierce County, while King County inventory is down, Pierce County is essentially at the lowest inventory levels on record. So we could go back 15 years, we haven't had this few of homes for sale, as few as 1,056 homes on the market in the end of the year last year. And looking at their absorption levels, another interesting note is that last year, Pierce County outsold King County in terms of the rate of sales for the first time ever. That's right. So
another record.
Yeah. So higher rate of appreciation, higher absorption of inventory in Pierce County. Again, that affordability is being a big driver. And then kind of looking at last year versus 2018 versus 2019, we can see there was more stabilization in the market. In 2018, this line up top shows you the percentage of list price that homes are selling for. So like in the peak of 2018, homes sold on average for 104% of their listing price, but less than 6 months later, that slid all the way down to 95%.
Which is like a 10% swing, which is huge when you're talking about $800,000 purchase prices.
And it's not so much that prices were going down, it's more that the negotiation and expectations changed, which is, I think, is more significant even than prices changing. And whereas this year, and down below it shows you the days on market. So you can see that during the really kind of compressed market cycle, it was 2 weeks on market. And then by the end of the year, it was almost 3-4 times that. Last year, it stayed a lot more stable. In terms of the days on market, didn't have as much swings, as well as the sales to list price ratios stayed much more consistent. So 95% at the low, 99% at the high, kind of right in that peak season.
Bouncing back and forth in the peak season, and then going back to where it started out at the beginning of the year.
So we're seeing more people kind of having time to negotiate, make those decisions, and also just less reactionary. There was a lot of media and things that drove the market in 2018, 2019, saw kind of a consumer confidence returning, as well as rates.
Interest rates definitely were a huge driver in all of that. The inventory is getting eaten up because affordability is being driven by these low interest rates. So at the beginning of the year, we were at around 4.5%, and we went down almost an entire point through the year. And a 1% change in interest rate is the same, translates to about a 10% change in purchase price as far as what your monthly payment would translate to. So that's huge for buying power. We also got a report at the end of the year that we had the lowest foreclosure rate in the past 20 years. So the lowest foreclosure rate that we've seen in recorded history, and that is amazing. So nationwide, yes. Yeah. So consumer confidence is strong, rates are low, and if you happen to have an interest rate around 4.25%, it might be a good idea for you to talk about doing a refinance. That might make sense to do at this point in time. So if you need a lender for that, just let us know.
So if there's anything we can do to help you with your 2020 goals, whether you're looking to sell, purchase a new home, maybe buy an investment property, we have the tools and experience to help make that a success for you. So call, text, visit us online, happyhometeam.com.